Hi, my name is Sabrie, Managing Partner of EnsoDX, and this is the Sitefinity Next.js series. In today's video, we'll create a Next.js application using a pre-configured starter template from the Sitefinity's official GitHub repository connected to the Sitefinity CMS project, and we'll run it locally in development mode. Before we start, make sure you have Node.js 18.17 or higher installed. For this demo, we'll be using Node.js 22.12. Let's get started. In Windows Explorer, we open the folder where we want to create our Next.js application. Right-click and select Open in Terminal. This will open the terminal inside that specific folder. Now we can run the command npx create next app, which will create a new Next.js application with name Next.js-Sitefinity using an example starter template from the Sitefinity's official GitHub repository. Of course, you can set a different title for your Next.js application. For this demo, we're going to use the default one. After you run it, it will start downloading the files from the Sitefinity's GitHub repository, and it will install the necessary packages. Once it's done, the Next.js Sitefinity project folder will be created with all the necessary files and packages installed. And in the terminal, we will also see the commands we can run inside the Next.js Sitefinity folder. We'll use the npm run dev command later to start the development server, but for now, let's open the project in Visual Studio Code, where we will continue the setup. We can close the terminal, and we see the Next.js Sitefinity folder. Right-click it and select Open with Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, we see the project structure and files. What we need to do now is to connect the Next.js with the Sitefinity CMS project. To do this, we need to open the .env.development file, which contains the development environment variables. In this file, we need to set the sfcms URL environment variable to point to the URL of the Sitefinity CMS project. In our case, we have a Sitefinity 15.2 project, which we set in headless mode, running locally on IIS on HTTP port 9090. This setting allows the Next.js application to work as a proxy, and if there are any requests that it cannot handle, it forwards them to the Sitefinity CMS. This ensures a seamless experience where users don't need to worry about whether the renderer or Sitefinity CMS is handling their requests, and they don't need to switch between the Next.js app and Sitefinity CMS. With the connection in place, we're ready to run the Next.js application. Let's go to Terminal and open a new terminal in Visual Studio Code and run npm i just to make sure that all the required packages are installed during the creation of the project. All packages are installed and up to date. Now we can start the development server with the command npm run dev. By default, the sample project runs under SSL and installs a default SSL certificate. It uses mkcert and stores the certificates in the certificates folder. If you would like to disable SSL, you can update the command in the package.json file. Under the script section, there is an experimental flag for the dev server to run over HTTPS, which you can remove. To run the renderer, navigate to HTTPS localhost 5001. Yes, we get a 404 error. It is because we don't have any pages created yet through the Next.js app, and we don't have any legacy MVC or web forms pages created in the Sitefinity CMS project. As a side note, if there are any legacy MVC or web forms pages created in the Sitefinity CMS, which we want the Next.js application to handle, we need to explicitly whitelist them in the Next.js app configs. For example, if the home page and the About Us page are legacy MVC pages created in the Sitefinity CMS instance, we have two options to whitelist them in the Next.js app. The first option will be to do that in the .env.development file. There is an environment variable sf whitelisted paths where we can add the URLs of legacy MVC and web forms pages. The values should be comma separated. The other option is to go to the middleware file and set the legacy page URLs in the whitelisted paths variable. It is an array of strings, and the legacy page URLs should be added as separate strings to this array. This way, the Next.js application will be able to render those legacy pages. In our case, we have a completely empty Sitefinity CMS project with no legacy pages, and we just need to navigate to localhost 5000/Sitefinity and log into the backend. After the login, we land on the dashboard page. It looks the same as if we access it through the Sitefinity CMS project, but we are accessing it through the Next.js application. We can now create pages using the new page editor, take advantage the out-of-the-box WYSIWYG editor, create and personalize our content. That's it. We created a Next.js application, connected it to the Sitefinity CMS, and ran it locally in development mode. Your Next.js application will now proxy any Sitefinity CMS related request to your Sitefinity instance, while the Next.js renderer handles the front-end rendering. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe for more tutorials, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video of our Next.js series.